Uh, you can't turn your phone while recording. All right, we'll just leave it like this. Hi everyone, my name is Azucena Gonzalez. I'm a realtor with Mojica and Associates, and I'm super excited because today we're going to be interviewing the lovely Marissa Rodriguez. She's an escrow assistant here at American Title Service Agency. I'll let her go ahead and introduce herself, and then we'll go ahead and dive into some questions. So,
hi, my name is Marissa Rodriguez. I work here at American Title Service Agency. I am escrow assistant to Jill Hoover Russell. She's my boss, and we work with Susanna on deals sometimes. I'm a little nervous. Sorry.
No, you're fine. So I actually started working with American Title Service Agency because they actually helped me in my transaction when I bought my house a couple years ago with my now husband, because we were dating at the time. Anyways, long story. But one of the reasons that I like working with them is because I know they are focused on making sure that they meet our needs, even if that means giving us paperwork in the middle of a, what was that? It was a FedEx office at 6 o'clock at night. And it was dark. It was like winter, so you know it gets dark real quick. And that I swear I was so impressed with Jill because she went. I was like, look at this girl, like going out the extra mile. So, anyways, I choose the right people to work with, the people I work with, meaning you. So, before I got off on my tangent, Marissa. So, what is the role that you and Jill play? And I know there's a lot going on in terms of title and escrow. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So, a lot of people, and including myself, I don't think would normally know exactly what title and escrow are. Before I started working here, I actually worked for an investor, and we did a lot of transactions, real estate transactions, and I was still very unclear about it. And then when I came here, I realized that escrow can mean a lot of different things, from the money that's taken out of your account when you pay your mortgage to what we do, which is, we're the third intermediary party to a transaction. And then people kind of lump escrow and title in together, but they're kind of two different things. And then title is, how you hold your property, but it's also, we have a title office here, and we are a title agency. So we work on clearing up that title and making sure that, that whenever it will, in a real estate transaction through purchase contract, whenever we do title insurance, we just make sure that the property is going to pass, the title is going to pass free and clear to the buyer, and that the title policy is in place for insurance in case 10 years ago somebody deeded the property incorrectly, and the person that was in a coma or something and wakes up and says, oh, that was not right, I was supposed to actually deed that, and because the documentation was there, it could have been missed or something, you know what I mean? So this is saying, hey, nobody's going to come back 10 years later and say that's not right, because we're the underwriter who we go through is the one that's going to be guaranteeing that. So a lot of situations can arise and stuff. So
yeah, so it sounds like you really work on making sure that the client's bases are always covered.
Right. As far as title is concerned, yes. And as far as escrow is concerned, that is a portion of our job, but a huge portion of our job as well is to make sure that the contract is adhered to. So we take in the contract, and when we get a contract, we open escrow with earnest money funds, and then our process begins. We immediately try to reach out to the buyer and the seller. We want to make sure that we have all the information necessary as soon as we possibly can, because everything is time of the essence as far as the contract is concerned. So we want to make sure that we have all the information that we have available so that we can act as soon as possible to make sure, because sometimes things do come up whenever title gets run, and all of a sudden, boom, there's something on title that needs to be cleared, and it's we need all the information we can have at hand. So we kind of are annoying sometimes, unfortunately, but that's because we're doing our job well.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're doing what they need to do to make sure that when you get your house or when you sell your house, everything is done and that you don't have to go back for it later.
Right, exactly.
So then I wanted to ask, do you have more than one location? So right now we're here at 2929 East Camelback Road.
Yep, we're
in Phoenix.
Biltmore area. Crossroads are 32nd, and this is 32nd and Camelback. Yeah. Okay.
I got confused too.
I got turned around. So we're here. We have a total of 8 locations throughout the valley.
Nice.
So we have, I think, Mesa, Chandler, Arrowhead. We're kind of all over, and it's crazy because we're pretty small actually as far as title companies go. I think we consider ourselves a boutique title company. We're not going to be that big corporate type of company. We are able to give more personalized service, but we still have the tools that we need to give the same type of service. We work with, I think, 3 major underwriters, and then we have other underwriters that we work with as well. So we can meet every need, but we can do it in a way that's more personalized, I think.
That's awesome. And that's because it's all about connection, right? Like if you connect with somebody, the transaction goes much smoother versus if you don't know somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
Like this. Anyways, yeah, no, all about the connection. So then I think you also have mobile services.
Well, we don't, but we do use we use Sensible Signings, actually. We've been working with Joe and his company for several years now. He does a great job. They're amazing. They have people that are bilingual. They are great at what they do. They can go over a settlement statement with you. Somebody that we trust to do our job when it's more convenient for the client, you know, and we can't be there. We don't want to have to force somebody to work on our schedule, you know, so it's nice to have that.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's how we had it done. We had somebody come at our house like at 6 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
to sign. I was like, ooh.
And people are working, you know, they're in the middle of their work week. They're in the middle of their, you know, doing whatever they do. Some people work nights. So, I mean, and then they sleep during the day. So it's hard to kind of find what works for somebody. And our motto here is above all else service. So we try to make that happen. Like you were saying about going to the FedEx at 6 o'clock, you know, we try to make that happen. And I've made a few road trips to go pick up a check or to go do something like that. And, you know, that's what we do, you know.
That's awesome.
Yes. We try.
So then another question I have is, so, I mean, you talked about being a smaller title agency and like more boutique style. So why would people want to work with you versus other title agencies?
There's a lot, actually. To toot my own horn. Well, we have, with upper management alone, our vice president, our president, and our CEO, we have I asked them, actually, and visited with them about this, they have over 130 years experience combined. Wow. So that's a lot of knowledge right there. And if you get into a title issue or something like that, that's so important to have, you know, having somebody actually know and actually having been through the circumstance before, you know, and they know what the outcome's going to be. They can guide you, they can guide us. They're a great resource for us. So it actually, and it trickles down, you know. And then after that, you've got our, like our chief title officer has 40 years of experience plus. Wow. And our examiners, and I had to ask them all today. Like I wanted to make sure I had all my information right. Our examiners have 20 plus years, all of them. You know, and I believe that was like the majority of them at least have 20 plus years. And then like Jill alone, she has over 20 years in the escrow industry. Yeah. She knows her stuff. Like it's kind of intimidating sometimes because she knows so much. But
she's a fountain of information.
Yes.
And you know, the nice thing about it sounds like then that if anybody has a certain situation that it's most likely not the first time y'all have seen it.
Right. Yeah. And actually, Chris, our VP, he was saying, you know, he's like, we're like that farmer's insurance commercial.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
He was like, yeah, like you the one with the squirrels and the cactus, and I'm like, okay, yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
That's awesome. I was thinking about. I'm so glad you mentioned it because I was like, I was making those connections. I was like, but I couldn't remember. I was like, who was it?
Yeah.
Okay, and then is there anything extra that you would want people to know in general?
Yeah, I think that, well, we kind of ran the gamut, and I kind of used up all my good answers already, I think. But we, well, I don't know. I think it's interesting that, so I was one of Jill's clients before I actually came to work with her. And I would come in and just drop off a check or pick up a check for my boss, and I just be in her office talking for like 20 minutes because she's just such a lovely person, and to work with her is awesome as well. But yeah, I was her client before I worked with her, and I've come from customer service industry, so I knew it would be a good fit because anytime I needed anything, like even if it wasn't part of her job purview, you know, even if it was supposed to be something that came from my boss and he just didn't have the information for me because it wasn't handy, I could call her and say, hey, I need the EIN for this, you know, entity or whatever. And she'd be like, yeah, she'd shoot me an email, there it is. And so fast too, like it's crazy. She, like, even today, I get emails and she'll respond, you know, before I've even had a chance to like catch up. And I'm always trying to catch up. And I try to, you know, do the same thing. I try to do immediate responsiveness, and she's just so good at it though. Like, I don't know if you noticed, like you send her an email. Yeah.
I send it out and then I get a response like a minute, if that, later. I'm like, who just, and I'm, Jill.
Yeah.
I'm like, did you even read it? Because it's so fast.
She does, yeah. So it's definitely something, it's been really great working with her and having her as a mentor. And I would recommend our branch and even our company to anybody, because I feel like we take the time, like just right now, you know, to talk to people and to explain to them, because unless you're in the industry and unless you've sold or bought many homes, it's a lot of information. And then you're also, with buyers, you're dealing with the loan process too, and you're dealing with the lender, and you've sent them things multiple times, and then here I am, hi, I need this from you too, please, and thank you. And you know, it's a lot and it gets overwhelming. So we don't mind sitting down with people and explaining, hey, this is why you need to do this. You know, like, oh, one of the things that people never understand is how to hold title. Common ways to hold title in Arizona. That's one of the things that people get that form and they're like, I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, are you married? Are you gonna hold it as community property with rights of survivorship? Are you gonna, you know, be tenants in common with rights of survivorship? Like, because every different way that you hold title has ramifications, whether it's with taxes or with how it conveys whenever, if you know, a tragedy happens, you know, and people don't necessarily understand that that's something that needs to be thought about and that needs to be decided. And that's one of the reasons why we try to get the paperwork to you as soon as possible, because we want you to have the availability to talk to your accountant or to talk to your lawyer and not be sitting here in a signing, sweating and thinking, oh my God, why didn't I, you know, why do I have to answer this now? Like, I wish I would have had the time to go through and, you know, talk to my, you know, somebody that has the knowledge that they need for this. And it is important, you know.
It really is. We actually were talking about that yesterday during our meeting.
Oh.
Because some people don't realize.
Yeah, and if you don't have something in place, then, I mean, and we aren't allowed to advise. We're not lawyers. There are a lot of things we have to remind ourselves in this industry, especially when you start to get the knowledge. You're not a lawyer. You're not an agent. You're not, you know, a real estate agent. Like, we didn't, you know, go through all the training as far as those fields are concerned. So we have to tread very lightly and make sure that people understand that they do need to be talking to somebody, though, and we want to give them the time to be able to do that if they need to.
Exactly. And to kind of piggyback off what you said, that's super important, because for everybody that buyers or sellers deal with throughout the transaction, whether buying or selling, it's very true that each one of us has our very distinguished role, and it's super important that we stay within our boundaries, because there can be ramifications if we go over them. For sure. And especially if the information that we provide is misleading or inaccurate in any way, then it can cause a really big problem. So you'll often hear us say, hey, talk to so-and-so, talk with so-and-so. And it's not that we're trying to blow you off or we don't want to talk with you or tell you the answer. We just want to make sure that we're covering everybody's bases.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That's what it's about.
And you're getting the best information you can have, too.
Yep, sending you to the expert. Well, Marissa, thank you so much. I'm sure that everybody can appreciate all of this information. I know I most certainly do. Thank you for taking this time.
Of course.
And yes, if you have any questions, I will be tagging Marissa to this video on my personal page. You can reach out to her, as well as Jill. And yeah, I hope you have a lovely Wednesday. See you next time, and have a lovely day.
Bye. Thank you.